Hey Libra, how's it going? This reading is going to be a timeless reading, meaning it can resonate with you whenever it is that you're watching it. It can be the day that this posts. It can be 3 years down the line. Okay, we are starting off with Queen of Cups, King of Swords, the Magician. Seeing the Hermit. Okay. What this looks like so far, starting first off with Queen of Cups means that it's going to be important for you to look at things through the lens of what you're feeling, and that being important, to give weight to that, to give voice to that, and really just validate the emotional experience that you're having. Beyond emotions, it's also like what you're feeling. What are your instincts telling you? What's your intuition saying to you? Like, what's going on within that world of feeling for you? So we start off with that energy. Next, we have the King of Swords, which can mean that having the cups here, which is what you're feeling, and basing things, your narrative, your experience, bring that to a place of light, into a place of awareness and understanding. There's going to be that side of things, which is important. And it can also mean too that what's going on right now that you're figuring out, it has to do with what's going on inside for you. So there can be themes coming up of like, what makes me happy, what feels like it's in resonance, what brings me a sense of joy, what has me feeling like peace and calm and serenity or stability emotionally, like those types of things. Those themes can be coming up. Simultaneously, to also have the King of Swords here, you can be going into a place where once you figure out how it is that you're feeling and can articulate what that is, there may be an articulation that's going to happen. There can be a conversation that's going to happen. But also, too, what it means having the King of Swords here is that you also need to be thinking things through and making sure that you're in a grounded place so you can see what's going on, even from a rational and logical standpoint, but not so much in that space that you're neglecting what it is that you're feeling. Having Queen of Cups come out, it's like that's the energy you need to be in first. That needs to be the most major lens that you're looking at things through, and you need to give light to that. Like, that part of you is the one that's going to be figuring things out here. And also the part of you that is the King of Swords, that can problem solve, that can be logical, that's going to think things through before. When we just have Queen of Cups here, you can be doing things like, now I feel like this, now I feel like that, now I feel like this, and things be fluctuating all the time. This is going to be counterbalanced by the energy of the King of Swords, which will allow you to analyze. I'm feeling this. Where am I feeling that even within my body? Like, just all of that, the sense and the feeling. King of Swords is going to bring an understanding to that. So rather than just, I'm reacting based off of all these things that I'm feeling and I'm speaking from that place, and then like I'm feeling this now, so I have to add that to it, and having this be like a, because moon energy is naturally like that, your water energy is naturally like that, it will fluctuate. But that's why having King of Swords here is important, because when you give a voice to what it is that you're feeling, and even prior to doing that, you're going to think about it. Is this something, like, where is this coming from? Is this something that I want to bring up right now? Is it important for me to speak about this? What do I need to figure out here? It's going to be sort of that balance that's going to bring things into a place where there's a heart and mind equilibrium, rather than I'm going based off of what I'm feeling emotionally. I didn't think it through. I just said something, or I made a claim, or I thought this was going to make me happy. I didn't think it through, and now I'm stuck here at square one again trying to figure this out. So that's why it's so important to also have the balance in this instance of having King of Swords here, because it shows this, like, let me feel what I'm feeling, let me understand what I'm feeling, and then let me problem solve based off of that, because it looks very much like you're figuring something out. Having the Magician here, This is about trusting and knowing that these parts of yourself that you're connecting with, they are capable of manifesting your 10 of Cups. What is your 10 of Cups? It's your pursuit of happiness, your ability to feel satisfied long term, to feel content long term, to feel like things are right within your life, to feel like I'm on track here and I feel that resonating within me. It's just this feeling that I have things are as they are supposed to be within my life, that I'm aligned with that. I feel aligned with peace within me. That resonates when I'm in a particular position. So it looks like that's the intention of what is trying to be created. Then to have Hermit here, this is you looking at this, taking this, like what you're trying to do, and figuring out, how do I take this piece of what's going on for me and make it equate to that? So that's what's happening currently. Some of you, there can be another person involved. Just because we do have 2 court cards here, it doesn't have to be another person, but that is one of the ways that this can manifest. It can be something that you're trying to figure out with another person. I'm hearing decided. I'm also hearing open-minded. I'm seeing Page of Swords and I'm seeing 2 of Swords. It feels like you're still figuring something out and it's not time to make a decision yet. Or it can be like not time to have a conversation yet, like that type of thing. See this? This can be something that you feel a little bit puzzled by. That the part of you that's going to ultimately make this choice here, or have a clear idea of what's happening, or like what side you're falling on. If you have something like that, do I go this way, do I go that way, it's going to lead to a breakthrough that you will have, that you can feel like, I'm not there yet, I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. There's still some, it feels like, figuring out when it comes to what you're feeling that's happening. It feels like an analysis of that. Like I'm doing a deep dive on myself right now, how I'm feeling, what that means. I'm really giving light to that right now. I'm really putting a lot of focus on that to figure things out. It's going to inform the choice that I will make. It's going to inform the breakthrough that I will eventually be having. Until I finish doing that deep dive, figuring out what's going on emotionally for me, what I'm feeling, it's not time for me to do this yet. So you will know if you're like, I can see this side and I can see this side, or I'm having mixed feelings, or I'm not sure what I want to do or what I want to say here, or I'm not ready to have that conversation. You will be once there is like an end to this that I'm seeing. Once this stuff emotionally is figured out and you sort of glean what you need to glean from it, then you'll be able to proceed with the more like practical, those parts of things, the more like cerebral parts of things. Even though this part of I'm sort of like going into the heart space or the feeling space with a flashlight and looking around, part of that is intellectually connected, because you're sort of looking at what's going on and bringing a sense of awareness and consciousness to that. It feels like that's what's happening first. Then it feels like it's going to allow you to take the next step, but you may not be able to take the next step there because you haven't shined the flashlight on everything yet. And so that's just the part that's happening, and then will be the next part. But it's very much going to help you with seeing what you need to see and figuring out what you're trying to figure out here. And that's what's being suggested. So if you're at a point where you're like, why do I still feel undecided about this, or uncertain, that word is coming through, specifically uncertain, about what move is right for me here. What is the right way for me to go when I'm checking in with what I'm feeling? You can feel like that hasn't yet been clarified, but it's just because you need to spend more time with yourself, bringing the flashlight to the feeling space and checking out what's going on there and informing yourself of that. And once you see what you need to see, it feels like the next part is just going to like immediately be clarified. If it's not clarified, you haven't seen everything you need to see yet, don't rush this decision, or don't like rush to try to form a conclusion before it's before it's basically like unfolding. Because it can feel uncomfortable being in this in between of like, what's it going to be, but at the same time you want to make sure that you're doing this the right way, to make sure that you are moving through this process most effectively, where it will actually accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. After that point, you are going to know a very practical way of how to proceed. I'm seeing it's going to feel very obvious at that point of what to do, of what move to make. Yes, you're going to feel confident about that. So just figuring this stuff out, it feels like more than anything, I get the vibe that you may find it more difficult to do the emotional stuff than it is to like do the steps or think about things just logically without your emotion being involved. Where you may struggle is more so connecting with your water energy. You may very easily tap into your air energy, more easily tap into your earth energy, but when it comes to the emotional stuff, that can be where you have to take some extra time to figure those things out. You know, like some people be crying all the time, or they be really emotional all the time, or they always know what they're feeling and this and that. For you, you can be somebody that you sort of see things through a lens psychologically first, or intellectually, or socially, or like what steps do I need to take here, but it may not be so much like what am I feeling from that like deeper emotional place. You may just operate in a different way. That's not to say that you aren't developed emotionally, but it's to say that some other things may come more easily to you. You know, like if you got to choose a puzzle to work on, you may like something that's more intellectually stimulating than it is something that you have to resolve emotionally. You know, those things may just come more easily to you, sort of like the brain type stuff, the like figuring out, the really thinking about it, you know, like making sense of that and how those things fall into place, and then knowing what do I need to do. But when it comes to like matters of the heart, that can be something where you have to spend more time going in there, because it's a part of you that you may be developing more so right now. And it's also going to give you the solution, because if you're looking for this type of solution where cups are involved, the person that's involved with the cups, that part of you is going to be the one that has to come out. It's like if you're looking for a practical solution, your earth energy has to be there. If you're looking for a like social solution, your air is going to be there. If you're looking to figure out something about your feelings and feeling fulfilled, feeling satisfied, that part of you that is the emotion, that part of you that is the water, the intuition, the nurturing energy, you nurturing yourself, you showing up for yourself, carrying yourself, making sure that you're taking the steps that you need to take to sort of lead a life that feels right to you. You're going to have to be in your Queen of Cups energy in order to feel out the right way to do that. So that's basically what's happening in the front part of this, like basically at the beginning of this part of the cycle. So after you basically like excavate your heart space, then is going to come the analyzation of that. How do I problem solve given what I've pulled out of there? And then after that part happens, it feels just like a step by step. After that part happens, it feels like there will be a practical plan that is put in place of like, I'm taking this step now, that I'm taking that step. It feels very much like the moves just sort of lay out in front of you and you know what to do. And this definitely has taken and feels like it will continue taking a lot of reflection, figuring out, spending time sort of with your own energy, understanding what means what, like that whole thing. I feel like you're spending a lot of time with yourself right now. but it's very necessary to figure this out, because you know nobody else is going to be able to tell you what will make you happy at the end of the day, or what will feel fulfilling, or what will just feel right for you within your life. And so cultivating that, your relationship with that part of yourself, is going to be the key to finding that answer, and very much possible for you, but just needing to spend the time actually doing that, or spend the effort actually doing that, or creating the space that you need to be able to cultivate that relationship with that part of yourself. Because you don't want to make a decision before it's time to be doing that and think I'm going the right way, and then that ends up not being the right way as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be forcing something, forcing a decision or forcing a conclusion before it has naturally occurred, just to get it over with, and then see that you start walking down that path and it starts crumbling before you, or a wall is there because that wasn't the right way to go, you know? Like, it feels like you do it right this time, the first time, and then you're not going to have to come back here and do this again. And that's why this is important. So that's why I'm seeing it be like, don't have a conversation before it's time. For those of you that a conversation is involved here, don't make a decision or do not make a move until it's time to do so. Like, make sure that you do not bypass the emotional stuff, because that is the foundation of this entire process for you, and that's why this is so important. And I feel like things are just going to get easier after that part. So know if you've been trying to sort of touch base with this part of yourself and figure things out, and it's been taking a while, it feels like every step after that is going to be faster and faster and faster. This is like the most difficult part. It feels like it's the first part of things, and that stuff is going to fall into place after that. But do not rush. What's best for you? And I wonder too, like, you may be spending the entirety of the retrograde figuring this out. And as much as you can look at that and be like, that much time, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that much, it may be something that towards the end of the retrograde, which isn't that much longer, you can Mercury, because I'm seeing Virgo here. And that's the first thing. We have the Magician and we have Hermit. This is Mercury and this is Virgo here. It feels like, I mean, not that you, hold on, you don't even have to time things in that way of being like, I have to wait to make a choice until that time. It just feels like it's part of this retrograde process that you're going through currently. And you don't need to be like, on this day that the retrograde is over, like post shadow is over, I'll have my answer. Or like, even if you develop an answer and get to that point, oh no, I can't do it yet. It's not like that. It's more so just like, make sure that you give this time and respect the process of it, and don't rush it. Because the thing is that if you don't heed that advice and you end up rushing this decision, or trying to rush to take steps before something is concluded or figured out, what may happen is that then something's gonna shift, and then you're gonna have to come back here and do this again. So it's like, it's not wrong doing it that way, but if you just wanna do this once, take time and make sure that you come to the conclusion and that you feel clear with what's going on. I'm really seeing things, I'm really understanding things, and then move from there. And if you're not at that point yet, it's not time to move yet. And that really being something that's being indicated through this, if that's how you do this, in a way where you won't have to come back and do this again. Because yeah, it's not like a wrong way, there's not a wrong way to move through this. It's just, if you want to do it one way, it's going to happen one way. If you want to do it another way, it's going to happen another way. But yeah, this is going to be the most effective way to do it. So just don't rush yourself. Because I get this too, like, you need to be patient with this part of yourself that's learning how to figure these types of things out. And just like you would allow a child that's figuring something out, your inner child here, as much as you would allow a child like the time to figure something out themselves when they're like, I don't want help, I want to figure this out. You're not going to be like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. You know, you're going to mess up their process, and they're not going to be able to. I feel like you just have to respect your independence. And it's complicated because it's like we're talking about you with another part of yourself. Like this is all just like interplay between you and yourself that this is moving through. Don't let anybody else rush you just because they may be antsy about something, and don't rush yourself as you move through this. You know, like you can really see what you're capable of by allowing yourself to have the time to do this process properly, and you will really feel confident about what you've figured out. But if you're rushing yourself, you're not going to feel confident. You can very much second guess yourself, and chances are you're probably going to have to come back here and do it again because of not doing it in an effective way. And when I say effective, meaning you're not going to accomplish what you're trying to do here. So that's what I'm seeing the advice be. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself the space and room to have your process in whatever way it looks like and whatever amount of time that this takes you. There's not a you need to do it by 10 o'clock tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't set yourself up for that, because it's just gonna come back, and like that part of you, it doesn't work on a time frame like that, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on that you're working through currently, processing, pulling up, you know, looking at it, understanding it. And in order to really understand it properly, you're gonna need to not have that pressure of like, gotta figure it out by Tuesday. And things really will, the process will get easier. This just feels like getting to the top of the hill, and then it'll all be like downhill from there. Like, you will really see it speed up after that point, okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.